In this video, we're going to continue talking about hormones, and we're going to focus on hormones from other endocrine glands. And really, there's just 3 endocrine glands that we're going to focus on. That's the thyroid, the parathyroid, and the pancreas. So as always, we've got these same 4 outcomes for all of these hormones. Okay, and just to orient you, like we have with all of them, or all of these videos, up at the top here, we've got the stimulus, we've got the production site, we've got the target of the hormone, and then we've got the effects. Thyroid gland is stimulated to release, or will release thyroid hormone when thyroid stimulating hormone from the anterior pituitary reaches it. So thyroid hormones are produced in the thyroid, and it targets just about every cell in the body. Ultimately, it's going to increase metabolism. Okay, and so this is why there are people that gain weight because they have an issue with their thyroid hormone. What happens is it's not releasing enough thyroid hormone, so they have a low metabolism, which makes it a lot easier to gain weight. You can have an overactive thyroid that releases too much thyroid hormone, and then you have the reverse occur. Then we've got parathyroid hormone. Okay, this is stimulated when there is low blood calcium in your body. And so the parathyroid hormone, unsurprisingly, comes from your parathyroid gland. I don't know why they couldn't think of a better name for it, but there you go. Okay, it targets bone, kidneys, and small intestine. And it targets each of these 3 locations in an effort to increase blood calcium. Okay, so it signals your bone to release calcium from it. So your bones are important for the structure of your body, but they also store massive amounts of calcium. And so if we have low calcium, parathyroid hormone says, hey, give us a little calcium. Okay, it also causes the production of vitamin D, which helps us hold on to calcium. And then in the small intestine, it helps us reabsorb or absorb calcium into the bloodstream. The reverse of parathyroid hormone is calcitonin. Calcitonin is released when we have high blood calcium. Okay, this is produced by the thyroid gland. Okay, it targets the bone cells and the kidneys. Okay, and so in this case, what happens is those osteoclasts, those bone cells, what they do is they take calcium and they put it back into the bone. So they're storing calcium in the bone. And then the kidneys, it causes them to excrete calcium. So we're reducing blood calcium. Next, we've got probably the most, one of the most common hormones, or one that you've probably heard the most about, which is insulin. And we're going to talk about this likely later on in the semester. Okay, but insulin is released when we have high blood glucose. Insulin is produced in the pancreas, and it targets muscle, liver, and fat. Okay, and so when we have high blood glucose, it signals all of these. And so it signals the muscle and the liver and the fat cells to take glucose up. Okay, basically it opens doors that glucose can go into. So in the muscle, we take that glucose in, we use it for energy. In the liver, what happens is we take excess glucose and we store it. We convert glucose into something called glycogen, and then we can also store excess glucose in our fat cells. Ultimately, what this does is this lowers blood glucose back to our acceptable range. Then we've got glucagon. Glucagon does the opposite, okay? So it's stimulated when blood glucose is low. Also produced in the pancreas, and it targets the liver. Okay, and so what it does is it takes that glycogen that we formed with the help of insulin and it breaks it down. Glycogen, just think of glycogen as a chain of Lego or a stack of Lego bricks. And so what happens is that whole stack together is glycogen. Okay, the individual bricks are glucose molecules. And so what glucagon does is it breaks that stack into individual pieces. And those individual glucose molecules go into the bloodstream to increase blood glucose. So at the end of this video, can you do these 3 things? Can you identify hormones released by the thyroid, parathyroid, and the pancreas, and tell me what their effects are?